Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. It is Season 20's grand finale. We're heading to Abu Dhabi, and we have 17 glorious drivers joining us on track today as we finally get to decide the Tier 1 Championship. The Drivers' Championship, of course, the ultimate prize in SLR. Also, the Constructors is sewn up, but there is some battling to be done in the lower ranks of that Constructors. But before we get to the session here, let me introduce my fellow commentator for today. It is not Icewind, it is the Scotsman himself, the Flying Scotsman. It is Boosted Mess. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I am very well, thank you very much. Hope everybody's ready to see quite a bit of action tonight, I would imagine. Last race of the season, getting very close to changing over to the new game soon. I think we'll probably only manage one more season, I'd imagine, before the next game comes in. Or the DLC anyway, I think that's how they're doing it this year. But yeah, no, great to be here. Great to be covering the final race of the season. Championship, like you say, in the Constructors title. All sewn up. Ferrari have that one in the bag. A couple little squabbles further down. We'll see how that plays out today. The race looks like it's probably going to be a bit of a showdown. You've got Christian currently leading the championship. Perseguili in a close second. Makendo's currently in P3. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to contend much more than the P3 that he's already in, so he's kind of is where he is. And then looking through the last few race results, there's been quite a lot of position swapping for P4. That's between Bailey and Touge, so a little bit of a grudge match, just a little bit further down there. A couple of stats for you. So for Perseguili to overtake Christian and take the championship, he would need a victory for that, or to finish in P2, and Christian on top of that would need to DNF in order for that to happen. Should Christian DNF and Perseguili manages a P3, that would then tie the Drivers' Championship. But my understanding is that Christian is running with more race victories in the bag this season, therefore he would still get the win. So yeah, a Christian P4 or worse would ensure Perseguili basically taking the championship. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Any other result and Christian wins it basically, but it's not over yet, as they say.
Yep, and we are seeing Christian on screen right now. This is a very important qualifying session for Christian and Perseguili. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, yep, he's heading down the first long DRS straight into the technical section of the technical part, which is the chicane, and then onto the second straight. We're going to see a lot of overtakes here, I think, in the first and second DRS straights, as Billy Thompson sets a pretty fast time, 22 flat, so it's looking like we're going to be dipping into the 21s pretty soon as Tenari P2, and he is a reserve driver today, 22.4. Good to see him back on track. We've got Specky Bam, another reserve, who is Janab of old. We saw him last week as Maradona. He's a man of many names. And I think the only other reserve driver we have today didn't show up actually, so yes, 17 drivers on track. Everyone else is full-timers. And Christian about to cross the line here. Is it enough for pole? It is. It's a 21.7, so that is quite a bit faster than Billy Thompson right now. Perseguili also out on track. Let's have a look at him as he is in sector 3. 2 corners to navigate here, and he has used up most of his ERS, which is what you want coming out of the final corner. Getting on the par, keeping that back end under control. 21.8, 1/10 off. This is going to be close.
Very close, very, very close at the top there. So just barely over a tenth between the two right now as it stands. Both of them are just over a tenth quicker than P3, which is currently Bailey Thompson. But yeah, hotting up. Early stage of the qualifying so far, and they're already so close to each other. So this is absolutely going to go down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, just riding on board with Makenda there. He is invalidated. A switch over to his Ferrari teammate. He's also invalidated. So Ferrari, having sewn up the constructors, not having the best qualifying session here in the initial run, but plenty of time left on the clock. 12.5 minutes. And this is going to heat up pretty nicely, I think. Who else have we got out on track at the minute? Lots of times on the board. How RC got P5 with his first run, which is great. Both Italian drivers, Flash and Pet Madman, and the Astons, P6 and P7. And Specky Bam taking that P8 position. Actually, Lars of the Red Hot Lovers in P10. That's not too bad for him.
Down the grid, looks like we've got Phoenix Gecko is greyed out for me at the minute. I don't know if that's a DNF or just a late entry. So it looks like we're going to have 18 on the grid now after all, instead of just the 17.
Oh yes, John Waits is our other reserve then. Good to see him on track. Good to see him on track. And I'm
a couple guys still in the pitch, so waiting to see if we're going to get a time from them soon.
Yeah, I've got Touge. He did invalidate his run there, but he's managed to recharge all of the ERS, so he is going to go again. I'm riding on board as he heads down to turn 1, and it's quite a tricky section as he... Oh, the car, massive amount of... I think that was oversteer or understeer or something happened to the car. He's able to keep it under control, but I think that will cost him all the way down to the hairpin here as he brakes late and tries to clip the apex. He take a wide line, and the run onto this straight is very, very important also. Yeah, you can kind of like take a breather here as he heads down to his his spotting. Yeah, he's spotting the braking point there into the chicane. Gets on the power early. It seems like he's a bit too eager on the throttle there as the back end tries to spill out once again. Back onto the ERS and the second DRS straight here as we get another hairpin. This is quite the hairpin. You can take a lot of speed into this here. You have to be careful of your line on the exit though. You can run out wide there and invalidate the lap. And another technical section here into sector 3, and it's all about carrying the momentum through all these corners, and the back end just wants to give up at every moment. It looks like Touge managed to navigate that pretty nicely, but I think this isn't going to be pole, but it might be good enough for top 5. Oh, top 8 for him, 22.5 in the end.
There's a bit of an uncomfortable lap for him. There's a few little areas, like you say, where there's a bit of a squiggle or running slightly wide, but early stages yet of this qualifying session, a decent enough banker lap just to get a time on the board. We'll see if that can, allow him to build some confidence from that point on, really.
Yeah, what we found all season long, Boosted, is drivers just showing up, not putting in much practice, using the qualifying to get up to speed, so that might be reflecting the Ferrari strategy today, as they seem to be struggling with track limits. But here we are, RRC on the second run into sector 2. I didn't see the sector 1 time, but we should get a sector 2 time pretty soon as he navigates the chicane onto the second DRS straight, and he does have a bit of traffic ahead. He's used up all his ERS quite early here, but will be able to recharge a little bit through this hairpin and onto the sector 3. Yep,
we've got a healthy dose of slipstream down the back there, courtesy of Touge on that main straight, so that might have helped him along a little bit as he comes into the last 3 corners of the track now. Going to be now, it's the second to last corner now. Just coming down, it's a really tricky braking point here, but he looks like he's managed to get through there. Just let's get the power down. It's a little bit wiggly, but he's got there.
Yeah, it did
it's
improve.
Not an improvement.
Yeah, it's just over a 10th down in his time. I'm trying to look at this comment from Kit in chat. There's a big heart blocking the one of the words, so I don't know exactly what he's saying. But is he basically pointing out there's probably going to be a lot of time penalties today?
He says he expect a lot of false warnings today. Is what he's saying.
False warnings. What does that mean? That's very cryptic.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure either.
Kit, explain this. Translate the Swedish Colombian, please. Watching X Crystals here. Oh, and he slams into the wall there, gets away with it. He's about to set his time here as he goes through the final corner. And yeah, we're about to see the V-carb. Yeah, into P11 he goes. So not the best slap from X Crystal, but managing to get a time on the board at least.
We've got there's a yellow flag there that was on the back straight, and there was the 2 Mercedes there that are involved. I just wonder if there's a bit of team play going in there with slipstreaming. I think it was Tunari and Janab, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked up Christian there. He was a 10th up going into sector 3, but then invalidated in that technical section where you have to carry all that momentum around, and yeah, it's so easy just to run over the track limits there, and he did that. He did just that.
And that's a big deal as well, because Persegili's just gone purple in sector 1. So Christian's provisional pole could be under threat here as Persegili just comes into this hard left-hand corner at the bottom of the straight. Now we'll see what he gets as he crosses the sector 2 line. Time shortly. But yeah, he's definitely on a charge now.
Yeah, looking very tardy so far, and here comes the Sector 2 time. He's ever so slightly up in his time, but he needs to find more improvements in that. But from my recollection, this track, a lot of time can be found in Sector 3. It's all about that carrying that momentum through and being brave on the throttle while hoping the back end sticks. And it looks like he's got it nice and tidy there. Carries a decent amount of momentum through there. Flat out through this corner. And then, yeah, braking just at the line there. Oh, and it looked like... Oh, that looked a wee bit... Yeah, he lost a bit of time there, so he doesn't improve.
Oh, so close. So close. I was all in the last corner. He just seemed to sort of run just a little bit too uncomfortably wide and then struggle to get the power down again. So, yeah, it's very, very close between these two. I think we're going to be in for a really good showdown. Just seeing Kit clarifying what he meant as well. He's saying the track limits are a little broken on this track, so you could end up with a situation where you get 4 warnings in the pit lane entry, for example.
Yeah, another thing about this track that I just remembered from the last time we came here, on the first part of the straight, for some reason the game starts stuttering for me. I don't know if you're getting the same thing, but I'm watching Pet Mapman here, and we'll have a look at this issue as he gets onto the straight. DRS will open. He's got ERS engaged as well, but yeah, it is starting to slow down a little bit on the frame rate front, so I don't know what's going on there, but hopefully it won't impact the race too much in terms of the broadcast.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that I don't seem to suffer from that, but I know exactly what you're talking about because there's other tracks. I think Spa, Sector 3, the beginning of Sector 3 in Spa, for me, when I'm driving on it, I can end up with stutters there. Silverstone is another one where I forget exactly where, but there's a point where I get a stutter there too. Just a common thing, isn't it? It just happens now and again. Maybe get patched out eventually.
Eventually, yeah. But Pet Batman looking pretty good here heading into Sector 3. I think he was up in his time. I keep forgetting to look at these sector times as they pop up. I'm so glued to what's happening on track, and he abandons his run.
He's given it up. Yep.
Yeah, so he wasn't improving there, it seems, or he lost momentum. Only driver on a lap at the minute is Julian, who just invalidates as I switch to him. So the commentator's curse is real. We also got Touge.
I think he's invalid as well, if I'm seeing that correctly.
I think he's alright, actually, yeah.
Oh, is he? I may be misinterpreting the graphics there then. Find out now. He does, yeah, he improves in fact, P9.
Nicely done, yeah.
We're the purple Sector 3 too. That's very impressive. I think I just saw the red stripe on the graphic at the top for Ferrari and just assumed it was an invalid. Usually it shows you sector times there. So Larson yet to make a lap. He's still sitting in the pit lane at the minute, so he's going to wait for a last lap, all or nothing attempt. Crystal's currently on an out lap. Touge presumably on his in lap, and Janab is on his out lap currently also. Everybody else waiting for that perfect moment to leave the pits.
Yeah, we've got Eagle Ghost, who is on a lap here. He is a teammate of Christian, and I mean he's a very fast driver in his day. Tier 1 though has not been too kind to him this season, but he will be hoping to play a part in terms of the Drivers' Championship, hoping to get his teammate onto that second title. It'll be back-to-back titles if Christian can pull this off, and that's a mean feat in SLR. I think only one other driver's actually done that, and that was our main man, Justin Ayers, who isn't here today, but might be watching in the wings. Might see him return in the coming seasons, as Eagle goes navigating a bit of traffic there into Sector 3, which isn't ideal. And then on to the start-finish rate, engages ERS and gets P12 in the end, so improving by 2.9 seconds. So his first run would have been compromised somewhere, but that's it for him. Specky Bam is out of the session. He's retired in the pits. And yeah, with a lot of drivers waiting in the pits, Christian, Persegili, Tonari, all the top guys, waiting to the very last moment to go out, and I think they're starting to do just that.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a frantic train, I think, a last lap shootout now, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at the sharp end of the grid. Just having a quick look at the chat. There's a suggestion that 2-stop is quicker.
Ooh,
I don't
yeah.
obviously know how true that is, so I don't think I can comment on that. But
I mean,
I think we'll see a bit of a mix.
I do remember people trying it before, and it didn't really work out. But Tino showed us in Australia that it actually was a workable strat. Um, Looking at the champ battle, some Finn might have won the championship. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Tino, we're not. Why are you not on track, Tino? You could be here racing. We could be commentating on your superb driving today. I think it might be the time change. We are a +1 or this time around. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep an eye on everything here.
At work, working very hard. I see. Hiding the phone behind a paper.
Yeah, Billy Thompson onto his lap, so we'll have a look at him. I think Christian is right behind him. Oh, that was Eagle Ghost actually. Going for a second run on those tires. So Billy Thompson in Sector 1. Let's see how he does, if he's able to improve on his previous outings. And Billy Thompson, of course, winning one race this season. And we'll be looking to add another here in Abu Dhabi. And spoil the party of Christian and Percy Gilly.
Kender's managed to just jump up to P5 there as well and push Jenab down to P6.
Nicely done, yeah. Yeah, Christian Persigilli yet to start their laps, but I think I see Christian coming around the final corner there as Billy Thompson looked like he made a hash of the chicane there, but we'll get a sector 2 time pretty quickly and might end up switching to Christian and Persigilli, as this is going to be quite the final runs from those guys. And yeah, Billy Thompson is massively down on his time, so
Persigilli goes faster in Sector 1, he's 1/10 up. He's had a scrappy exit onto the back straight, but 1/10 up at the line.
Yeah, Christian just under half a tenth up on his Sector 1, so this is going to be very tight between the two top runners here. See Persigilli, how he navigates the chicane. Not too bad, yeah, back end wants to get loose as always, but keeps it under control. Christian also looks pretty tidy. We should get a Sector 2 time for Persigilli any minute now, and he is up over a tenth on his time. That would be enough for... No, that'd be just shy of pole actually, so he needs to find some more time in Sector 3.
In the meantime, Bailey's crossed the line. He has not improved.
Oh,
Now he
Persigilli!
also the line moved. That's a huge mistake from Persigilli. That's surely ruined it now. That's P2.
Yeah, that's him out of pole position contention. But Christian is still on it, and he actually coming across Persigilli, who pulls over to the side. Good sportsmanship from him, and Christian one more corner to do. And he makes it look easy with finesse. He takes it and he takes pole, improving on his already cemented pole position. I tell you what, Pep Matman crossing the line not too far away. Into P3 goes the Italian. What a drive from him in his final qualifying session of the season. And that goes up, one up from Tanari. Billy drops down to P5, and then McKenna, they get that P6, and Specky Bam Janab is in P7.
Really unfortunate there from Persigilli just on the final lap there. Probably, you know, in that moment you're running at a faster time, you know you've got a faster lap coming, it's easy to get into your own head, so really unfortunate from him. But yeah, what about Christian? Absolutely throwing down the gauntlet there on the last lap. Realised he probably didn't need to when he saw Persigilli at the side of the road, but just absolutely stomping his authority there. So I think we've absolutely got a race on our hands tonight. This is going to be good.
Yeah, and it seems to be the kind of story of the season. Christian, the quality merchant, will try to break away early in the race, but as we've seen in previous races, it doesn't always go his way. He's had a few issues. He actually disconnected from a recent race, and I believe in Jeddah he locked up his brakes, and he put that down to a technical issue. Said it had never happened to him before, and it just goes to show anything can happen in a race, and quite often does.
Especially in a situation like this where the pressure is quite high. Like, so you're running at the front, you're in contention for a championship victory here. So yeah, everything to play for.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of championships go down to the wire over the seasons, and this could go down in the history books as one of the top ones. That's the hope anyway for us. Christian will be hoping for an easy time out front, just build that gap up in the first stint, and then get the pit stop out of the way and cement full points, meaning he will cement himself as the second driver in SLR to go back-to-back titles in Tier 1.
A big accolade, so he absolutely will have that in his mind. I'm sure he'll have to try and stay focused throughout the whole race, not let it get to him, and yeah, just keep banging in clean laps.
We do have a Kit who is race engineer to Percy Gilly, so Percy Gilly does have that secret weapon up his sleeve.
Slightly long loading times today, it feels like. Oh, there we go, we are on track now, just like that. Formation lap incoming. It's a nice clean pull away. This is the hardest lap of the race usually. We'll see how they do warming up their tyres.
Yeah, speaking of tyres, we're looking at most drivers being on medium. We've got P6, McKender on hards, and P17 on the hards. Everybody else is on those medium tyres. And as Tino pointed out, there is a viable two-stop option, but I think most drivers are going to try to keep it safe, play for that one-stop strategy.
Yeah, just a wee bit more tyre management involved in that strategy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's doable. I would be surprised if a lot of people go for the two-stop. I think although it's doable, it kind of, yeah, you're relying on basically having to go flat out for longer and you know, to make that work, make back the time of the second stop. I just wonder if that might mean that people will maybe push it too hard, especially in a race like this, last race of the season.
Yeah, we may see a safety car or two. We have seen a few throughout the season, not as many as previous seasons, but ghosting is off for this one. And yeah, you never know. Safety car could force the hand of many a driver, put them on to a two-stop strategy. But Christian, as always, very fast formation lap, eager to get onto the pull grid spot that he so eagerly desired and cemented. I think I've used the word cemented like 5 times in about 2 minutes. I'm just so pumped for this race. Let's go. Phoenix Gecko is the last driver to pull up on the grid, and he is going all over the track here, trying to warm up his tires. I don't know if this is a good strategy.
It'll be a last to first attempt here by the look of it.
And he finally, yeah, there's something weird going on with his car, a bit of lag or something, but he finally pulls up on that grid spot, and it's time to take it away.
Yep, as the lights are slowly coming on now, we have 5 lights on the board. And they're out, the showdown begins then. Christian versus Persegili. It looks like a fairly decent start from both of them. Persegili is alongside Christian just a little. There's minor contact there, front right to rear left tyre. They're still marginally side by side as we got there. He spun around.
Oh, Persegili's out.
Persegili completely sideways, and there's damage. His front left end plate's gone.
Oh, that is absolute disaster, yeah, for Persegili. He's all down P17, minus a lot of his front wing, and he will definitely need to pit in the next lap or so. He'll be hoping there's a safety car comes out. Christian, however, gets away unscathed. John Waits getting a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 spot. And McKender
Could
looks...
well have been a spin. I think McKender was involved in that somewhere as well.
Yeah.
In that
oh, and there's
still
big
going 3 wide
carnage
into the hairpin.
Oh yeah, there's a V-carb just slamming it into everybody, and it's absolute chaos out there at the minute. Oh my word, what is going on?
Bailey's down there somewhere as well. Bailey's missing a front wing altogether. He's been involved in that. I don't even know what happened there. 3 wide into the end of the straight there, and suddenly there's all manner of chaos going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers out there with damage. Pep Madman, who was in P3, finds himself down in P10 right now. He's got a lot of front wing damage, and we're going to see a lot of drivers pulling into the pits here. And yeah, Christian out front, being kept company by Tenari and Specky Bam, both in the Mercedes. Christian crossing the line first, getting that fast lap under his belt for the lap 1. And yeah, we're seeing Pep Madman into the pits, as is Persegili and Billy Thompson. So imagine he's in for a new front wing as John Waits picks up another time penalty, 3 seconds. And that was from coming into the pits too. He's out, he's retired.
That was a DNF, yeah. I mean, frustration there probably for him, unfortunately. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. There was a hell of a lot of spinning and stuff just coming into the end of sector 1 there. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow spun out of control and clipped over a corner and the game's detected that as a cut. But yeah, I mean, this is dream stuff for Christian now, as he's comfortably away into the lead. He's got a half-second gap to Tunari. One has to assume now that unless there's a safety car intervention, this is looking really good for him.
Yeah, and look at this. Eagle goes up to P5 there, passing Flash. Passing Flash. Kevin as well. P8, P8. Who's Kevin? Passing Howard.
Looking at, yeah, Harris's dropping and losing a lot of positions. He's actually missing his front left end plate. So I don't know if he was involved in that first lap incident as well, or if that's come later on perhaps.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic race start for Tier 1, I have to say, as Tunari sets the fastest lap off the race. That's an ominous sign. We know he's taking a break this season from F1, but he's been focusing on another form of racing and iRacing, and that translates, doesn't it, Boosted? I mean, he's
Absolutely
keeping his tools sharp, and looks like he's on pace with Christian here today.
Definitely putting in some solid laps at the minute, so it'll be interesting to see if he can just hang on to the back of Christian. He does seem to keep catching up. I mean, the front sort of 3, 4, they're ebbing and flowing as they go down the straights, you know, sitting in one another's slipstream and then concertinaing in the corners. See, there's a change of position there. P6, it looks like, was that flash on Eagle Ghost, who nearly runs into the back of him there in the braking zone. Will get a healthy dose of DRS and slipstream now, though. And he make the move back. He is chasing. Is it going to be enough? Flash was boosting. Flash does have a fuel light on, I've just noticed. So he needs to fuel save a little bit.
Yeah, and it looks like the front 2 have dropped Specky Bam, so it's just Tunari and Christian out front as Specky Bam looks to try to get that DRS range under control. And I tell you what, Specky Bam will come under pressure from the Ferrari of Touge and P4. The Touge was able to navigate that first lap of incidents and got himself into a really good position right now.
Oh, of course, that's another thing, isn't it? Bailey was involved in that incident at the start, so it's robbed us a little bit of the Bailey 2 showdown as well,
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
the two major battles that we had.
Yeah, a lot of fast drivers out, but it's not over till it's over. There could still be a safety car at some point in this race, which could bring them back into the fold.
Absolutely, and we also don't know how the strategies are going to play out now with the guys towards the back who are now running on the hards. They can push them far enough. I don't know, is it a viable option to use softs here or stick to mediums? We see Touge was really closing in there on the back of Jenab. Just interrupted myself a bit there, but yeah, it looks like he's going to get another dose of DRS here, so I'm just going to shut up and watch this now. He's very, very close now. He's going to go down the inside. Jenab went to the outside, Touge comfortably down the inside, and Jenab's going to have to just slot in behind.
Yeah, Touge will be eager to get that DRS range of the front 2 drivers under control, but 1.1, he's actually he's already got that under 1 second, and yeah, looking very good for Touge to get back in reach of a win here today.
Having a little look further down as well. Flash kind of on his own a little bit at the moment. Crystal's a bit of a cork in the bottle at the minute with Kevin, Eagle Ghost and McKender behind.
It's
Ferrari,
Touge.
that's Touge.
Yeah, he's off. Front wing is damaged big time, and he is dropping down the order. What is going on out there today in Abu Dhabi? That was turn 1, I believe.
Was that unassisted then, I wonder? Did he do that by himself? He must have done. He was comfortably ahead, I think, coming down that straight. Not close enough yet to Nari to do anything, so maybe just clipping the curb a little bit awkwardly or a bit too enthusiastic with the throttle pedal, but that's worked out really badly for him. On the plus side, once he's been in the pits, The Bailey 2 fight might be back on. That's horrible. Turn 1, 2, that's yeah. That's really unfortunate for him. That's a long lap now with a bucket load of understeer, unfortunately.
Yeah, lots of fighting going on in the midfield here. We've got Eagle Ghost, McKender, Kevin, and Crystal all battling very closely together in Sector 3 here. Oh, and Crystals is off into the wall he goes. And I think that's big damage, and that's a safety car. Oh, that is a lifeline for many a driver. Percy Gilly, Billy Thompson.
Kevin missed it.
Oh,
Kevin missed the pit just as the safety car came out. Everyone else behind is piling into the pit lane now.
Yeah,
this changes everything.
This
is gonna this pulls Pet Matman and Percy Gilly, Bailey, Phoenix, Harris. This pulls them all right back up to the top again, surely.
Yeah,
and this is horrible for Christian and the front runners.
What do you do if you're Percy Gilly? Do you pit? You're on free lap old hards. Maybe it makes more sense to stay out, pick up a few positions. And he's thinking about it, but he's staying out, is Percy Gilly, as is Bailey Thompson. So yeah, might be the wise idea, because he will pick up a bunch of positions, and then with this safety car, the field will be bunched up once more. So they're effectively brought back into the mix here. This is going to be very interesting once we get underway again. And that was a big incident for X Crystals in Sector 3. Just seemed like he lost the back end and went straight into the wall. And he is still out there actually on track. He's managed to cause a safety car and stay in the game. P10 he is, somehow.
He's very lucky that his wing is all he lost in a collision like that. That, like you say, that was a huge impact. I'm surprised he didn't lose a wheel and DNF from that. But I mean, the guys that stayed out, I definitely think that's the right call as well. This is, whilst it's not Monaco, it's kind of one of those tracks where you don't get an enormous amount of overtaking. So I think it's one of those tracks where track position is probably a bit more important than pace.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely the right call from them.
Well, Christian is in the pits, as is Tenari, so they didn't get a chance to pit once the safety car came out there. Had to go all the way around the track and into the pits they go. I wonder where they're going to come out. I think they might come out around about P8, maybe P9?
Yeah, somewhere around there. So does this mean we're going to have Julian P1 then?
That would be quite the...
That's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of people
new to the league.
Yeah, there's a lot of people pitting, so it looks like Christian's going to come out P1, and yeah, Tenari P2. So I did see the Mercedes did get held up there with double stacking a little bit, so Julian does pick up the position from Specky Bam. Julian now in P3.
Ghost jumping up a position there as well. I see he's managed to get himself ahead of Kevin in the pit stops.
Yeah, that was close on exit for Kevin there, but doesn't get the position. Eagle goes in P6. He'll be loving life right now.
So where does that put? So Percy Gilly, despite all that, still down in P12. So not worked out quite as well for him as I perhaps thought it might. Does close the gaps in the field, of course. Levels the playing field. Everybody now on hards. Can hards go to the end from here? I don't think they can they?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Kik can inform us. He's pretty knowledgeable about these things. But look at P9, McKender. He's on these mediums, so he started on hard, so he was kind of forced to go onto those mediums. And I think he's going to have to go for that two-stop strategy.
Yeah, there's nothing else he can do, unfortunately. I wouldn't do this, but the only thing they could potentially do is McKenna could potentially pit at this point, just onto the safety car, just to get a cheap air stop and put himself onto the same strategy as everyone else. But I think with where he is on the track, that's not worth doing. If you're running like towards the back of the grid, that might be an option if you're not on your preferred tyre choice. But yeah, he's kind of going to have to just suck it up and hope for the best now with that tyres, I'm afraid. Kit just jumping in saying they cannot, so hards cannot go to the end.
Interesting.
So yeah, we will be seeing more pits at the end of this then. So can they go softs then, Kit, at all? Or is it going to have to be a hard medium, do we think? I suppose softs would probably burn up quite quickly, wouldn't they, on this track?
Yeah, I would say after a few laps it'd be done pretty much in terms of overheating. That's what we've seen all season long anyway. Generally, drivers staying away from soft tires unless it's the only option left to them.
McKenna actually maybe not in as bad a spot as I thought, running on that effectively a reverse strategy. If he can get a jump on a few people on this restart, then hold the position. And then, yeah, maybe an earlier stop onto hards, try a bit of an undercut. Yeah, and Kit's suggesting that depending on tyre allocation, the optimal strat is hards and then hards. So, yeah. Okay, so it's we're not going to see any softs then. Unless it's a last lap shootout on the safety car, perhaps. Right, so where are we then? I'm just going to do a quick look and see what we have. Penalties. So we've got a 3-second penalty on Julian. He's the only driver currently carrying a penalty. Everybody else is fine. We did have a penalty on weights. That was 10 seconds and then a 3 seconds into the pit entry, but that's of course irrelevant as he's now DNF. Everybody else is now caught back up by the look of it, so we've got a nice train going. Safety car is going to come in on this lap, so Christian's going to start bunching everybody up now. Getting ready for this restart. Weaving going on there. Christian not letting anyone know what he's up to. He's just taking his time getting ready around the second to last corner. I think it's going to be a really late decision. It's not. He's gone now around the final corner. Tonari was right with him. He was ready for it. And Christian, a bit of a wobble out the exit on the final corner there. Immediately a change of position at the back there as well as Julian drops down behind Specky Bam. But I'm going to keep a close eye on the front here as I see McKenna actually getting into a tussle with Lars as well.
Yeah, nice move there from McKenna. Might have picked up a warning there, but yeah, it looks like Eagle Boost as well getting past Julian. So Julian's struggling. This phase of the race, it'll take a while for him to get those tires up to temperature, but everybody pretty much on the same tires, but Julian is on those older hard tires, so his start was compromised there, as we're seeing Larson getting overtaken by Bailey and Touge as well following through.
Down to the bottom of the straight. I think I saw damage there. I don't know who that was from.
Yeah, I think
something
it was
fell off.
Yeah, RRC ran into the back of someone, lost some end plate, and McKenna is going for another move. This is on Julian. McKenna going to go around the outside. Is there going to be room left for him? And there is indeed. McKenna pulling off that move. That is a great move for him. Up to P7, he goes on the mediums.
That's absolutely critical for him. He needs to really be charging at this point. I do still have a safety car graphic up. I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but we'll ignore that.
Ooh, and Bailey Thompson. We've got Bailey Thompson, Touge and Persigilli all together, P11, 12 and 13. And DRS is enabled now. The first lap under the safety car is under the... Yeah, we've got that under the belt. And yeah, there's quite a battle here between Bailey Thompson and Touge and Persigilli. I don't want to keep an eye on, but obviously you want to keep an eye on what's going up at front as well with Christian Tonari and Specky Bam all... Looks like they've broken away already from Flash. So P1 to P3. Oh my word! Heading into the hairpin here. It looks like
Touge looks like he's trying to get side by side with Persigilli here. They are. Oh, they're close to it. Something else going side by side. It's the two V carbs going next to each other. As Persigilli wants to get involved here as well. Comes down the inside of Julian.
Oh. Yeah, V-carb wall ahead for Persigilli. He has to be very careful here. He doesn't want to pick up any more damage. That will definitely be game over. As Touge picks up a time penalty there in the background. So these guys are all very eager to get through the traffic, but they have to be mindful not to pick up damage. And yeah, Persigilli being a bit tentative in this phase of the race.
Yeah, Bailey Thompson there just hanging on to the back of Touge as well, who is now carrying that penalty, so it's crucial that Bailey doesn't pick any penalties up himself now as he follows his way through the traffic in the P4 fight between those two. Another quick eye towards the front there. Christian's managed to pull a half a second gap out on Tonari. Specky Bam, his teammate, is just in the following then P3. So the two Mercedes running with each other there, and like you say, pulling a gap on Flash as well. So the top three fully broken away and out of DRS now. They're not hanging about. Look down here, I think Tuj is trying to size up Persegili here for the back straight. And Tuj has way more batteries, about 50% he's deploying. Persegili already down to 5%. He's going to lift off that boost button any second now. Both of them have DRS, but Tuj has got an overrun. He goes down the inside. He's going to make this stick, slots in nicely behind Crystals, and a very solid move there from Tuj. Persegili now on the offensive now on the second DRS straight. Again, doesn't quite have as much ERS available to him as Tuj does, so unable to make a move there as Tuj sends it down the inside of the Alpine of Lars there. Around the outside even, sorry, but he's going to switch back to the inside on this next corner. They're still side by side. I think he's got it now, but he did have to do a corner cut there. I think so that's going to be another warning for him as Lars again around the outside. Trying to go side by side with him, slots back in behind him though, no doing there. And that's left him vulnerable to Persegili now, who's also coming around the outside into the second to last corner. Very wide up those curbs from Persegili. Line onto the back straights, had to slot back in there and give that position for now.
Yeah, Lars is fighting tooth and nail for this P10 position right now. He doesn't care about the championship. He's just trying to get that P10 under his belt, but yeah, Persegili, I mean, this is an important phase of the race for him, isn't it? He's down in P11, Christian up front in P1, and with a few laps already underway from that safety car, so the gaps are building, unfortunately, for Persegili.
Yeah, he absolutely needs to be getting a move on here, but it's so difficult to do when you're stuck in this DRS train. I mean, it stems all the way down to Crystals in P8, so another 3 cars in front of him, and he's stuck in there. He's going to struggle, unfortunately, to get some clear air. There's a change of position at the top there, I see, for P4. That was Eagle Ghost and Flash swapping positions. McKenda's immediately behind both of them. He's managed to make a good move up there with those mediums, so he's putting them to good work at the minute.
Oh, and Persegili,
Persegili, yep.
He went deep there, and he got the position momentarily, but on exit, Lars gets it back, and they're going side by side into the right-hander. Lars gets forced off track, and yeah, unfortunately, all that fighting has cost Lars a lot of time. I've got a yellow flag, that is Phoenix Gecko in the background somewhere, but I'm going to stay with the action here as Persegili finally able to break through and get himself into P10, but he needs to get he needs to get the hammer down here and get some laps in.
Yeah, absolutely, he cannot be hanging around here. This is crucial for his any attempt at the championship here. I mean, it was a slim chance anyway because he needs Christian to not be in the position he's in, but he also needs to be at the front to capitalize on anything that might come his way. Big shout out to Iron in chat who's saying good evening to you as well. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Welcome to the last race of the season.
Oh, and look at this. Flash McKender going side by side into the chicane. And Eagle goes in this mix as well. McKender wanting to make the most out of these medium tires while they still have life in them. They're 7 lap old, but a few of those laps were under safety cars, so they should be pretty good still as he tries to force the issue. Down the inside he goes. Gets on the power early, and it looks like he's managed to hold it, but of course Flash will get the inside line for these next 2 right-handers. Flash able to steal that position for now.
Yeah, just while you're talking there, looked like Larson had a little bit of a coming together at the bottom of the first DRS straight, and I think after spinning, Larson I think has come off the worst there. He's actually got damage to his wing now, unfortunately. As a 3-second time penalty comes in for Harassy as well.
Yep, and while it was happening, McKenna did get up to P5 in the end, passing Flash. Another great move from McKenna.
Medium's really working well for him at the minute. I think he just needs to try and keep this momentum up just a little bit further to the point where he can maybe build himself a bit of a gap, and then he's going to have to nurse those tyres until the pit stops. As Bailey picks up a time penalty, so this levels the playing field between him and Tuj in the fight in the championship.
Yeah, Bailey is going to come under pressure here from Persegili. Bailey doesn't have DRS, whereas Persegili does have DRS. He doesn't have ERS, left, but he doesn't need it as he flies by Bailey Thompson. But of course, there's the second DRS straight coming up after the chicane, so Percy Gilly may well come under attack as they come onto this straight, and it looks like Bailey Thompson not getting the best exits from that chicane, so Percy Gilly into P10, and 2.5 is the gap ahead to Crystal, so Percy Gilly needing to get the head down, and we've already got an hashtag Ask the Commentators.
Yeah, that one coming in from Iron, who asks about SLR obviously having dropped down to 1 league for this season. I think that was really just due to sign-ups. But saying despite the the quality and the competitiveness of the grid and the community still going strong, what's next for SLR?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna slowly morph into a Wordle league.
I think it's just one of those things. We're getting to the end of the lifespan of this year's game, aren't we? And it kind of always tends to quieten down now as you see a yellow flag. Who is that?
Crystals
for?
is off. He's spinning into the wall from wing damage, and I think that's game over for him. It looks like I was in sector 1. He just looks like he's overheated the tires and cannot get the car under control now.
Yeah, I think this is just pure frustration we're seeing here. That's really unfortunate for him. But yeah, as I was saying, we're coming to the end of the season and the end of the sort of lifespan, I guess, of this year's game. It kind of always tends to quieten down in the sort of this time of year, doesn't it? Before it picks up again when the next game, or in our case, the DLC pops out. So imagine we'd be back up to multiple tiers before soon. Top 3 then, still as it stands. Christian still running with that half a second gap to Tunari. That half second gap has remained throughout the majority of this race at the minute, but Tunari able to hang in there. I just wonder if this is going to be a ploy to hold the position perhaps until the second to last lap before going for a move and then holding out for a victory. It's an option, I suppose. Specky Bam has dropped off a little bit now, a good 4 seconds down, so he's got a bit of a gap in front of him and behind him, in fact. And then the other McLaren of Eagle Ghost up there, P4. So he's had a really good race actually this race. He's been doing incredibly well. Under pressure from McKender just now, who's still on those mediums, still making them work. I'm sure they'll be starting to hurt a little bit now. And then yeah, a bit of a train behind that. So still plenty of action to come here.
Yep, lap 16 of 29 as McKender is looking to put a move on Eagle Ghost. There's still life in these medium tires yet, and it looks like he's going to go for something here. Maybe he's run out of ERS there, run out of track. He tries to go down the inside as Eagle's back end, getting loose, and that allowed McKender to try something round the, well, on the inside, but now he's on the outside, and it's not worked out for him as Eagle managing to scrape tooth and nail hanging on to that, and McKenna's still going for it. Oh my word, it looks like loose tires have given up the ghost, and he may well come into the pits. Yep, he does indeed.
Slightly earlier pit stop than what I thought he would come in for, but I assume Hard should comfortably able to make it to the end from this point.
Yeah,
so just a question of where he's going to pop out. If he gets a pocket of clear air now, that might work really well for him. If he can just bang in some solid laps, come the pit stops for the other runners, he might be able to put himself in a good position here still. There is a yellow flag in the last sector. It's just before the second to last lap. I think that was an Alpine. I think that was Lars having a bit of a moment as Julian picks up another 3-second time penalty. We also see Bailey and McKender. Well, McKender obviously. We see Bailey pitting as well though. Just making his way back out. He's on a fresh set of hards now.
And Flash getting by Eagle Ghost, so Flash able to save some tire life and make a move on Eagle Ghost, who just recently was coming under heavy battle from McKenna and might have overheated his tires a little bit. Yeah, he's coming
Eagle's
back.
coming back at him.
Going to go on the outside. This is going to be tied. These guys are going to fight tooth and nail. These are big points on the table for these guys. And Flash coming out of the corner ahead of Eagle. I think Eagle's tires are just not up to speed right now. He's starting to struggle a little bit as he goes deep. and that is going to cost him yet another position as Kevin flies on by, and Touge is not too far behind as well. I think Eagle might come into the pits here, Bissett. He does not, but there is Flash.
Flash is pitting. Yeah.
Flash in the pits, yeah.
So that will be, that would be for mediums then. A little bit early for mediums though. If we see Makenda pitted with 10 lap old mediums, and Flash would have to do 11 on these. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages to hold them.
Yeah, Makenda moving up to P9 now with those guys pitting, and Billy Thompson coming out in P12, Percy Gilly. Oh, Billy's actually P11, Percy Gilly P12.
There's another move possibly going on down the back here. It's Touge and Ego Ghost squabbling. Looks like Touge is going to try and go around the outside of Ego Ghost onto the second of the DRS straights. They're side by side coming onto it as they cross the line. Ego Ghost just hanging onto it. Touge is getting a very good run, very even ERS levels, but Touge getting a good run. He's on the inside of him. They're side by side still. They're just holding a both of them, squabbling there, sliding around quite a lot. Touge just made it through. Eagle Ghost has to slot into P6.
Yeah, valiant effort from Eagle just to try to hold on to that position, but and we got Tenari gets the time penalty, and that was going into the pits. I wonder if that's the bugged pit entry. That might be removed after the race, so we'll try not to take that 3-second penalty too much into account here. This race win still up for grabs, I think, and we've got some Ask Commentator hashtag questions coming in still. Make sure to address the second Ask Commentator's question.
Which was the suggestion of reintroducing Viz and Timander to ramp up interest for more drivers signing up.
Yeah, that's the thing about those kind of drivers, like they really do cause chaos, but they also drive people away from the league as well as attract drama and interest. It's not all upsides. I know Viz, for example, was very contentious in the league, but sometimes it's good to have drivers like that in the league. As Kevin picking up P2 from Touge, so Kevin having a very fast final stint here, and Chief winning this race. What? Huh?
Icewind, elaborate. Just gonna keep one eye on Touge here because he's all over the back of Kevin, and he's going for it now. He's side by side down the inside. Wow, that was cheeky. Just completely caught him sleeping. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, great move from Touge up to P2 again for him. And we're not sure what's happening here with regards to pit stops, but we got Specky Bam into the pits. So yeah, it looks like all these guys on the older hards are going to have to pit, like Pep Batman, and also got Kevin, who stays out on these old hards. Is he trying to get to the end? Because we've been told that is not happening.
Yeah, but again, a track where track position's more critical than pace, and we'll see.
And what's going on here? Yeah, we've got Specky Bam in the pits, Touge in the pits, so Makenda up to P5, Pep Batman now in P4, but on those older tires. Tenari with that time penalty in P3 right behind Christian, but he has dropped from DRS range from Christian. Ice has sent Touge with a penalty, which is quite uncommon, but we are seeing that this track is a bit bugged, so there is a possibility that, for example, the pit entry, I'm pretty sure it's bugged and you can pick up like triple warnings just for crossing the line and not actually doing anything wrong. So we might see some penalties removed after the race, so I wouldn't pay too much attention.
Just as you're explaining that, Christian retaking the lead there from Kevin, so those 13 lap old hards definitely not doing any favours for him. He's already down a second as well, unfortunately, so I'd expect to see him pitting in around about now for a fresh set of mediums. And Icewind, that's no problem at all. Just hope I'm doing it some kind of justice. Christian with a new fastest lap there, yeah.
Very ominous as he is running out front now with Tenari moving out to P2 on the start finish strip, making that move for P2, but 2.7, that gap was 1.4 not too long ago, so Christian starting to run away from it. Run away from it with
Eagle Ghost now, look at that. Comes in even fastest lap there.
nice,
I missed the time there, but it was a 1:24 whilst Christian was in the 25, so yeah, Eagle Ghost deciding to, well, mind you, he's on those fresh mediums, isn't he, of course, so
yeah.
he's on a sprint to the finish now. Have a look further down and see how Bailey and Persigilia are doing. They're both sitting behind Eagle Ghost, so they're effectively going to be getting a bit of a free tow around the track. Bailey, oh, he's hard on the brakes. He's nearly in the back of Eagle Ghost there. It's a hard braking zone into the second DRS straight. I wonder if Bailey might fancy a go here, actually. Try and keep one eye on this. DRS is open. Persigili's DRS is also open. Eagle Ghost with absolutely no ERS, and the pair behind them slightly more. Bailey does send it down the inside. He's made that move stick. Persigili managed to get a chance here then as well. It's slightly unsettled Eagle Ghost. It doesn't look likely he's going to have to just settle for P10 for the meantime. Another change of position towards the back there. That was Phoenix Gecko managing to get a move done on Larson. Continues on his way on the track. Tunari's lost even more time to Christian, which is interesting. The gap's now up to 3 seconds, so that gap's increased significantly since the pit stops. I wonder if he was stuck in traffic then when he came back out.
Yeah, he had Kevin there for company. Did Tanari? Might have cost him a few tenths or more.
I think this is why he's falling back so much as well. So before, when we saw him within that 1 second gap area, he's able to rely on the DRS to hold himself in contention, but no longer having that aid there, it's really hurting him, as we see Makenda and Petmatman getting very close to one another. I think that might have been a change of position, as we see, in fact it was Makenda and Specky Bam, sorry, as Makenda's going to start applying a bit of pressure onto him. 0.3 is the gap and dropping as we come round into this final sequence of corners.
Yeah, it does look like Petmatman is trying to get to the end here, unless he pits his slapper next, which is quite brave of him, as we've been told that the hards would not get to the end, and he does indeed. Oh, he's into the pits, says Petmatman. Yep. Oh, and he gets a 3 second time penalty.
Oh, and a penalty too.
That could be the bug again.
I wonder what's triggering that bug then. Is that just drivers not going too, well, going too far over the white lines then as they're coming in? You can cut them to a degree normally, but I guess that's not the case in this track.
Yeah, there is an issue with that pit entry, and it's totally bogus basically. But of course it doesn't help us as commentators, because we don't know if it's legit or not. And I run no problem. Yeah, third attempt on Wordle. That is good going, my man.
Having a quick look out, Persigili is all over the back of Bailey Thompson, who's all over the back of Eagle Ghost. Persigili having a little peek there. Bailey then deciding, oh, it's touch and go, isn't it? They got their bumper to bumper, this three. Into the second of the DRS straights now. We're going to see another challenge, I think, from Persigili there. Is Bailey going to have a go as well? The pair of them have got ERS and plenty of DRS. It's Eagle Ghost that doesn't. Bailey down the inside of Eagle Ghost, making that move stick once again.
Oh,
I think this happened in the last one, a bit of a squirrely moment there. Persigili's going to take advantage of it though, straight down the inside like we saw Touche do earlier on. That's a fantastic move there.
yeah,
Takes
that's a great
position,
move.
P8.
Especially considering Eagle Ghost is on those medium tires, which should be better than the hards right now, but it seems like Persigili and Bailey Thompson are dialed in and taking no prisoners right now.
Absolutely, you love to see it. Persigili still hanging on to the back of Bailey here, so I think this fight between those two isn't going to be over yet, and it'll be interesting to see if Eagle Ghost can make any moves back on the DRS straights. Touche is actually now coming into the frame here as well. He's just joined onto the back of this group.
Yeah, and we've got McKenna on the back of Kevin here. He's just entered the first DRS straight DRS wide open, but he probably going to sit tight here and save his DRS for the second DRS trade, which is probably the wiser move. And I'm seeing a move further back. It's Percy Gilly getting by Bailey Thompson on that first DRS trade, so plenty of action here on lap 24 of 29.
Not got many laps left to tie this up yet, so Icewind saying that the medium's probably already starting to fall off. I would have to agree there, especially there's a couple of little squiggles we've seen from Ego Ghost, so a bit of unwanted tyre temperature there, I'd imagine, as well. Will not be helping the degradation at all.
Kender is ready to pounce. He's got 100% ERS in the tank here, and he's pushing Kevin through all the corners in Sector 3, it seems.
And Touge gets by Ego Ghost as well. Sorry to jump in there, but Touge jumping past Ego Ghost as well. So Ego Ghost really struggling on these mediums.
Yeah, I'm surprised McKinnon not using a bit more ERS on the start-finish straight there, but he will have it all to play with on these two DRS straights coming up. And he doesn't want to make a move until he gets to the DRS activation line, but is forced to do so. So Kevin has now got himself in a position where he could possibly get this move back under DRS. But
entirely likely as well. The pair of them have got even battery percentages, so McKender's not going to have the advantage to run away here. So the DRS is the only thing that changes the direction. Kevin looked like he was going to go for a launcher, but no, deciding against it. Probably a smart move.
Yeah, lots of close racing going on here this late into the race, and Kevin not getting the best of exits, so that allows McKender to seal the deal on P4. And I saw a move further back. I think, was that an Eagle again? I think it was actually Touge and Billy Thompson getting very close.
Yeah, there's a bit of a tussle going on there as well on the DRS straights as Touge rapidly closing that gap to the back of Bailey Thompson. Be hanging on there now until we get round into the end of Sector 1. And look further up, Persegili now within a second of Flash. They're on even tyres, but Flash obviously carrying that penalty as well. So the Persegili probably making some more moves as Touge picks up another 3-second penalty. That is not optimal for him. I'm going to quickly check the penalty situation. And yeah, Touge now carrying 6 seconds to Bailey's 3, so that's going to swing that battle. Someone's gone off in the background there. That's Bailey. Bailey's just gone straight into the wall.
Oh my word, this could be it is a safety car. It is a safety car. We're going to have a final shootout of the season in the grand finale. And Percy Gilly sitting in P7. He'll be absolutely happy about this. I mean, this gives him a shot. It's going to be a long shot, but a shot nonetheless. Are we going to see drivers pitting for the soft tire? Because it's only going to be.
He's already in.
It's going to be 2 laps left in this race once we get underway again. This could be huge, yeah. And what does Christian do? Christian in Sector 3 will be considering his options. Does he risk it for the softs, or does he stay out? We will find out shortly.
I don't understand what happened to Bailey there. I was watching Touge in the background. Well, Touge came round the corner. In the background, Bailey just dead straight off and nose first into the wall. I have no idea how that happened. Really, really bizarre accident there. Really unfortunate as well. So that ties up that fight then. So the Touge v Bailey fight ends with Touge, as long as he stays in the points anyway, I believe, taking that position, that P4 I think it was, in the Drivers' Championship.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Boosted just saying Christian did put on the soft tires, as does Tenari. Specky Bam stays out on old hards. That's an interesting one there. McKender stays out on old hards as well. Gets P3, although we've still got drivers emerging from the pits. Cognito Flash also jumps Tenari up to P4. He goes. Percy Gilly did put on those softs. He's P8 right now. And he does have his teammate right ahead of him, so I don't know if there's going to be a bit of team play there. Julian disqualified from session for ignoring yellow flag. But another driver bites the dust.
Bit of a strange one there, but a fairly new-ish driver still learning the ropes, so obviously made a bit of a mistake there, which Happens to the best of us, unfortunately, but yeah, as Phoenix Gecko gets a penalty as well for speeding under the safety car.
Yikes. Yeah.
So the top three then, penalty free, being led around by Specky Bam. We've got Flash, Tunari, and Touge all carrying penalties. I'm seeing another. Okay, I'm sorry, English. So safety cars coming in this lap. I got confused there. Phoenix Geckos had another communication pop up on screen there about a drive-through, so that confused me a little bit. But Specky Bam then will back up the grid now, although it's still very spaced out. So this is an interesting one for sure.
Yeah, it looks like
Kevin and Persegili really need to get on it. Here we go then. How late will he leave it? These are going to be your last 2 to 3 laps, I believe. So final shoot, it'll be the last 2 laps, sorry. So yeah, final shootout. Real mix as well of hards and softs. So Christian probably going to look for a quick pass here. Oh, they're going all the way to the line. They're bunching up. They're 3 wide almost in the back there. Specky Bam goes for it. Christian caught out just a little there, has Makenda right behind him, but of course Makenda on those 11 lap old hards. Tunari already up a position as Flash with those 10 lap hards is dropping as we speak. Christian looks like he's slowly trying to catch back up to the back of Specky Bam there. You have to assume he's going to get it on this straight.
Yeah, Persegili won for
speed there.
Yeah, Persegili won for move. Sorry, boosted P6. He takes from his teammate, and we've got 1 lap left after this one, so it's all going to kick off. We're going to see some audacious moves. I think as Tenari does get that move on who was that? Makender, yeah.
That was on Makender, yeah. Yep, that was on Makender as Christian gets the move on Specky Bam as well and takes back the lead. Tunari then you have to assume will be let by now by his teammate, surely, on those fresh softs. I wonder if that was a bit of team play like you suggested to try and give Tunari the best chance at maybe pulling a victory.
Yep, there we go.
See an inversion there, yep, nicely done. But now we'll see then, Tunari within that 1 second gap of Christian. Just for pride, he does carry the penalty points of course, but see what you can do from here. Yeah, Geely as well, P5. He's caught up to the back of Makender. Sorry.
I'm just thinking as well. You know, if anyone gets a time penalty right now, where all the cars bunched up, it could be a very significant. You know, have a very significant effect on this. As Makender he picks up a time penalty, so that's Persegili. Effectively, Persegili is P3 right now. And he's going for a move on Makender into the hairpin, sends it down the inside and gets another position to P4 on track for Persegili, and he's only two cars away from the race leader Christian.
That was a lovely move there from Persegili now as he's coming up to the back of Specky Bam. You'd have to assume he's going to be by there fairly quickly, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. He's got 1 DRS straight and just a sector left to go. Christian's still trying to run away from it. Tunari's pushing like hell to catch up to the back of him though, running out of VRS though on that back straight. Persegili past Specky there. He's going to take that P3, which will become a P2 as we cross over the line. The front of the grid is closed up massively now as we come around to the last few corners now. The second to last corner coming up now. Christian hanging on to it under all kinds of pressure from Tunari. Just navigates that final lap and makes it across the line. He's your season 20 drivers champion, is Christian. Persegili inheriting that P2. So we did get a nice showdown between the two of them. Not quite in the way we wanted, but yeah, hell of a lot of action there from those two guys. Yeah, Specky Bam's going to come in that P3 and Tunari P4.
Yeah, good to see the reserve of Janab getting podium in the end for his hard work in that race. Kevin P5 as well. Big shout out to Eagles P6 and Flash P7. Unfortunate for Batman, his teammate ending up in P10. And the Ferrari boys P8 and P9. But yeah, the big story here is Christian picking up his 2nd title in a row, and he does it in emphatic style. Wasn't easy, but he made it look so. Persegili getting himself up to P2. What would have happened if that lap 1 incident didn't wreck his race there and his race strategy?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear from him if we can after the race, just to find out exactly what happened there, because there's like 3 or 4 incidents almost happening on that lap 1 between many different clusters of drivers. Quite chaotic, but yeah, what a race. What a race. There's overtaking everywhere as well. Unusual for Abu Dhabi, so fantastic to watch and commentate on. Yeah, huge congratulations to Christian, back-to-back World Drivers' Champions. That's a big accolade for him for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, we had a lot of fast drivers this season. Billy Thompson, Percy Gilly, Tenari, obviously showing up today as reserve, but also McKender. The list goes on. But in the end, Christian rises to the top, takes that coveted World Drivers' Championship, and we will get a chance to speak to him not too long from now. So stick with us as we congratulate him. And if you've any questions you want us to ask Christian and the rest of the guys here, just let us know in chat. I just want to get the Iron's commentary. He was asking, where is Tipsy Bob, Eversnacks, R Gamer, and Lepson? So Tipsy Bob is in Kremlin, Eversnacks is Germany, R Gamer is currently getting attacked with missiles in Saudi Arabia, and Lepson's in rehab. Hope that answers your question. And what a nice segue to the interviews.
Wow, yeah, incredible race. It's funny that when you're commentating on these races, normally you get at least a few moments of peace where you can kind of gather your thoughts, but it doesn't feel like we got that in this race, which is fantastic. There's always something going on there, be it at the front, in the middle, even towards the back. There was some really good battles going on. For the most part, all very clean. We'll omit lap 1 from that description, but yeah, the rest of the race certainly fairly respectful. Lots of action, lots of fighting. Absolutely love to see it. This is what we want.
Indeed, yep. And let's see, who have we got? Oh, here we go. We've got Janab in the chat. So P3 in the end for yourself, Janab. That was quite the finish from you. I mean, just tell us about your strategy today and how it all played out.
Yeah, first of all, it's probably P4 because Tuna got the penalty when pitting, when you basically cut the last corner to pit. So yeah, he doesn't have a penalty really. But yeah, it was quite unfortunate. I was actually only doing 2 runs in qualifying to have that extra soft in case of a late safety car. Then that happens, and then obviously my teammate is right ahead of me for the pit lane, and I can't really pit. And yeah, with being quite nice. If Christian stayed out, Tuna would have also stayed out. He only pitted because of Christian. And there maybe could have been a shot for the victory. But I mean, either way, it's like best result for me in this game. It's definitely the most frustrating F1 game I've played yet. Because I just couldn't go up to pace, even with practicing and stuff. I've never had that before with any other game. So at least good result for the last race of, I mean, I guess the next patch will be the same, but, of the 25 series.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to ask about the late pit stop there as well, but I suppose that answers it. If you're stuck in a position where you couldn't pit because you would be risking a double stack, I wasn't sure at the time if it was perhaps strategy in order to try and maybe block in Christian a little bit and allow Tenari to make a bit of move up. But yeah, no, I mean that was some solid racing all around. How did the first lap go for you? There was a lot of chaos, and we struggled to commentate on it because there's stuff going on all the way up and down the grid. Most of it we ended up missing because of that. So what happened from your perspective there?
Obviously, the turn 1 was quite normal, and then turn 2 as well. And then I just saw, like the top of Percy Jelly's car being sideways in front. Like I could only see a glimpse of it. That was enough for me to see it early enough, and I just went to the right, and was lucky that his trajectory wasn't to the right because I couldn't see his trajectory. And I feel like a lot of people went to the left, and I assume, I haven't rewatched it obviously, I assume that his trajectory was to the left, while also being kind of central on the racing line basically. So tough position. I also honestly don't know how no one retired from that. But yeah, I think me and Tuge went both on the right hand side and went through. So, and unfortunately Tuge spun out later. Unfortunate for him. But yeah, I think Tuna mentioned something that there was some sort of contact as well. I'm not sure, but maybe there was something with some other car as well. But like, I'm not sure if KCJ spun on himself or on his own.
Yeah, I mean, there was on the opening lap, you had he was on the inside line, wasn't he, off the grid start, and I think he was just side by side with Christian, but not quite enough. So it was, I think there was a little bit of wheel banging on, front right tire to rear left, and effectively that probably is what caused it. Then it did look a bit strange in the stream as well, but of course that seemed to then cause a bit of a cluster of incidents as everybody else came across that situation and had to react, as you say. So it's a great foresight on your part to be able to make it through all that without getting any damage or that.
Yeah, it was just really lucky that the angle at the moment just about was right, that I could see his sideways. I think if I was like let's say half a meter early in the front or like more to the left or whatever, then I don't see that early enough,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was finally double digits in one race. I don't think I had that before in this game, so at least in that way, it's for me quite a nice way to finish this game, let's say.
A nice way to round out the season for sure. But yeah, I know some fantastic racing there all the same, and great to see on track, definitely.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, good job, Janab. Good job. I can't wait to see what your new name will be next season. Race 1.
I mean, I feel like it's gonna be the same game with the same physics and stuff, so I'll probably be as slow as now. Like, I mean, the quali pace is decent enough, but there's just no race pace for me at all in this game, and I haven't understood why in half a year now. So yeah, I don't think there's gonna be anything to that, but yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we look forward to. Hopefully, you return and it's a good game. Let's keep some optimism. But yeah,
Yeah, it would be nice for sure. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they'll surprise us this time. Hopefully, so the DLC we've all been not waiting for, but yeah. We'll see. But hopefully, yeah, we'll see you back on track soon. It was a pleasure to call comms on your return to racing this season. I believe you raced last week as well. And yeah, it was good to see you. Had some pace today, P3 and N. So we'll call it P3 for now. It is P3.
All right, I'll take that.
And yeah, look forward to seeing you next season. Thanks very much, Janab, and speak to you soon.
Yep, see you guys. Hopefully next season.
All right,
Bye.
Let's bring in the man of the moment, the MVP. It is the Great Dane. It is Christian. Back-to-back titles. Let's go! Let's go! I mean, wow. What have you got to say about the season? Give us your highs and lows.
I don't even know. This whole season has been one big blur, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to ask first of all, did you feel like this was easier title than last season, or was this harder?
It was harder, I'd say. Last season, I put in more practice. I'm not gonna lie. Which it made me finish, more than a few points ahead after the last race. And I've just made some silly mistakes this season, and then Brazil where I got disconnected. You know, the salt in an already open wound, I guess. So I mean, today I couldn't really care if I won the race or not. I just wanted to win the championship, but I got both. So yes, sir.
Yeah, and I called it on stream. You're a bit of a quality merchant in SLR, and it really paid off today because I think just starting in pole position, staying away from all the trouble, the chaos that happened behind you. I mean, it obviously paid off big time today, and it seemed like another just effortless race from you today. But I'm sure having Tenari so close by you was keeping you on your toes there, and you were glad of some company up front. But yeah, Percy Gilly obviously getting caught up in that initial incident was probably music to your ears.
I mean, tuna was so far up my ass, he could smell what I had eaten 3 days ago. I was scared. But yeah, after the third, third pit, second pit stop, I just got lucky with the traffic and I could pull the gap there. But yeah, honestly, I would have. I've always enjoyed battling with Persegili, so yeah, I found it a bit sad that it had to end that way.
Yeah.
Somehow he finished P2, which just I gotta. That's amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
What was the what exactly happened at the start? I mean, when we were commentating on the race start, it looked like Persegili was going to go for a move down your inside into turn one. Not quite sufficiently as next year, I would have said, but it looked like there was a little bit of wheel bang in there. I just wonder if that is where he spun from, because we kind of, not that we missed it, but everything happened so quick. We kind of struggled to dissect what exactly happened there. Did he spin on his own? Was there a bit of wheel bumping, or maybe he hit a curb a bit awkwardly, or how did that look from your side?
Yeah, from my side, I mean, the turn one we did touch a bit, where it was more of a love tap, more of a hey, I'm here. Nothing happened there. We just went on, and then into turn two, I think he got beached on the inside curb and just went straight and hit me, and then spun around.
Yeah, that would make sense then as to how it all kind of went down behind, which of course can cause a hell of a lot of chaos.
Oh,
You'll see that in the when you watch the stream back. But yeah, I mean that must have been like half the grid somehow got involved in all of that.
I just heard Bailey getting smacked the living shit out of thingy out of. So yeah, sorry to. Well, it was more of a racing incident, but I mean, still, sorry to anyone who got damaged or what.
No, absolutely not. It was good to see.
I have a
Sorry,
question. Just from chat, there's talk of there was another legendary driver in SLR, Justin, who's dropped out for a couple of seasons, but there is talk of him returning to the league for next season possibly. And yeah, fans are very eager to see yourself versus Justin. Um, would that be something that would keep you interested in signing up for next season?
Would I'd like to, but I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten a bit tired of this game now, so I just hope, for the love of racing, that 20 the DLC, whatever the hell it is it's gonna be a lot better, because that will be a very long year otherwise. But
Yeah.
I've said the same every year for the last 5 years, and I'm still pumping in too many hours for a game I don't really like.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grind, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm gonna race next season. I mean, there's no getting around that. And it'd be lovely to race side by side with Justin again.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly be working on Justin, trying to tighten the screw and get him to put inked the contract. Well, I do have a question here from Iron. He's saying, "What about return of Alex Norris?" Do you remember that guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the last I heard from him, I think I spun him round, and he said I almost broke his wrists, and then something about some cheating, and he just left. But I had my suspicion. But I mean, if if he wants to come back, I'm perfectly fine with it. Because I mean, his qualifying pace was, I mean, he was fast, but as soon as it came to the race, he was underprepared.
So
Let's put it that way.
diplomatic.
Yeah, well, Iron's LOLing in chat there, so he appreciated that answer. Christian, that is, yeah, that's gonna go down. We will. I promise you, we will update the Hall of Fame, and we'll have your back-to-back titles commemorated there. They'll be locked in forevermore. But yeah, what a great season. I mean, well, we had Jeddah. You had an issue with your brakes, technical issue. I think it would said it never happened to you before, and what was the other thing? Yeah, the disconnect last week. Obviously for a spanner in the works. So you've had your you know your moments where it could have all went wrong, but you held it together. Consistent points on the table, and yeah, just missing out on the constructors. Ferrari too strong this time around, but the World Drivers Championship should be okay. It should keep you happy until next season. Then, just want to say a final congratulations, and yeah, SLR salute you. We'll have your name in lights pretty soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Christian, thanks again for joining us in the comms booth, and we very much look forward to seeing you if you do return next season. We'll keep an eye out for that, guys. And yeah, we're gonna move on to Lars of the Red Hot Lovers, our final interviewee. This is a big one, last but certainly not least. Lars of the Red Hot Lovers. You're joining us in the comms booth. What have you got to say for yourself? It looked like another tough race out there today, but I have to say, you know, you stuck with it. The whole season. I don't think you've retired in anger once, and yeah, I mean, it is a tough tier one with all these fast guys, and yeah, just tell us about your time out there and and how was the season overall.
Uh, Time out there was atrocious because not even for lack of pace. I know I have lack of pace compared to the guys in here, but the racecraft today, I don't care if it's the last race. You know, no excuse for some of the driving standards out there today. Lap one, was like an open lobby from what I saw. It was, you know, last second dive bombs, people missing their braking points, smashing into each other, spinning off each other. It was ridiculous. Somehow I avoided all of that. Made it to the first safety car, which kind of messed up the strategy, but I knew I was going to, you know, be against the strategy anyway. I figured I'd go for the tire change. Persigili seemed to leave his brain in Brazil, just shoved me straight off the track, coming into Sector 3, cost me 4 places and a broken front wing. Tried to ride it out to the second pit stop. Heresy smashed into the back of me, spun my car, overheated my tires, and sent me to the back of the track. So tried to pit under the safety car, but didn't realize the laps were running out that low, so we ran out of laps. And yeah, I'm at this point. I was numb to this like 3 races ago. I'm literally just here because I signed up and I see things through. But you know, if we're not going to get a second tier this season, I probably won't sign up again because there's no point being here if I'm just going to be pottering around the back. And the few times there was, you know, I was actually looking forward to a battle today. Like at the start of the race, it was, you know, between me and Larson. We had sort of, you know, agreed to disagree. With you know, that we would sort of be battling for just even getting a single point.
Yeah.
And we were wanting to fight each other because we're similar pace. And Larson got the points today. I would have loved to have been up there battling him for them, but terrible driving standards from guys who really should know better. completely ruined that battle. So like, I don't know where it came from. Like, to be honest, like Persegili's normally pretty clean. You know, but it was a really late move from up the inside. He forced me off the track. He knew I was there alongside him, and he just shoved me off as if to say, I don't care, you're slower than me. I don't know whether he was pissed off at something. Sorry, that's my phone in the background. I don't know whether he was pissed off at something or whether something had happened to him. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, and I'm sorry, I'm just seeing the chat I run asking if I should review my own driving standards. To a point, yes, but within reason. Within reason, I take his point. But there's very little I can do when I'm alongside someone and entitled to room and I just get shoved off the track. The only alternative is to try and hold the line turn in on him and spin him round. And when someone rear ends you directly in the braking zone, like Howersey wasn't even going for a move, he just missed his braking point and smashed me. Not exactly sure what my driving standards can do to improve that. Unless, aside from jumping out of the way. I know I'm not perfect on my driving standards. I know that I sometimes get into incidents. But to be quite honest, there was nothing else that could have been done today, and that's what's the most frustrating thing. If I mess up, I'm like, okay, I messed up, I can improve. But today was just like, everyone seemed to think because it's the last race, it's like, okay, let's just forget all the rules. Let's just forget the standards. And funny enough, when I mentioned it in the chat earlier, I was sitting in the interview room and Christian was down there. I said, like, the racing standards today were awful. And he said, haven't they been all season?
Okay.
Which kind of says a lot, to be honest. So I don't think it's just my perspective in response to Iron in the chat there. I don't think it's just me that needs to improve driving standards, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I know certainly from what I saw on stream, the lap 1 incidents did seem rather uncharacteristic of Tier 1. Usually it's pretty clean for the most part, from what I'm seeing anyway in the broadcaster booth. But yeah, it looked at various points that you had to pace today to score points, but yeah, it's some of that fighting cost you a lot of time then. And I did see that incident with Persegili. I think at that point, yeah, he just, he got caught up in an incident himself and was just so eager to get some moves done. He wasn't taking any prisoners, but obviously, yourself, you're fighting for position as well. So, things got.
He's allowed to not take prisoners, but the Geneva Convention prevents you from executing them.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't mind him like squeezing me. That's fair enough. He's on the inside line. He can squeeze me if he wants to. That's fine. But he just shoved me straight off the track and wouldn't have made as big a fuss of it if it had been like, oh, I just lost the place to him and he drives off down the road. Cost me 4 places and a broken wing. So, which basically set the tone for the rest of the race, as I say. It's hard to obviously say what would have happened otherwise, but with a broken front wing, I have to brake earlier. Whether that caught Howersey out, maybe that's the reason he hit me. You don't know what consequences are going to happen later on down the line. So,
I think it's one of those situations where there probably is a lot more, I guess, of a gun-ho attitude in the final race. Like you say, no one's got, well, other than the ones that are in contention, the rest kind of don't have a huge amount left to fight for, so it can get a bit squirrely. I mean, I can fully sympathise with the whole getting bumped around a wee bit. It's kind of one of those things that happens when you've got a mix of abilities on grid, and I've been in that situation too. But yes, it's one of those things.
On one hand, fair enough when you're saying people have nothing to fight for, but like, I never had anything to fight for all season. I knew I was off the pace. But you didn't see me shoving people off the track, at least not intentionally. Or making dumb moves. Throughout the whole season. Like, again, my driving standards aren't perfect. I make mistakes. That's fair enough. Sorry, just looking in the chat there, Iron saying, that's a long time friend of, who's that? Julian Nomanu from Ballymoney. There you go. We got another Northern Irishman. What else is he saying there? Historically, the overtaking I've seen from my experience now, sorry, but yeah, look, and again, that's why we like SLR. We are more aggressive because AOR police their blooming drivers so much that they'll stop you with a 10-second penalty for so much as breathing on an opponent. SLR, I do respect for the fact it gets that rubbing is racing. But there's a line between rubbing and smashing someone off, So that's what. But anyway, what's done is done. I'm not going to report it. There's no point. It's the end of the season. I don't know what's happening next season at this point. Do you have any idea, lads? Are we waiting until the 26 DLC comes out? Are we running 25 again? What's the plan?
Well, we're hoping that the DLC that comes out for 26 is going to be amazing, and the game's going to be fixed, and we're going to have 4 tiers again, and everything's going to be great. And COVID-20 is going to come out as well. And everybody stays indoors so we can get...
No, you don't even need COVID-20. Just keep the Iran war going, and then they'll start doing petrol rationing, so no one will be able to go out anywhere. There you go.
Yeah, true. Or the nukes will
We'll all be
start flying.
grounded, so there you go. No, I mean, so the plan is maybe to hold off till 26. I mean, hopefully, all I can hope for is, honestly, 26 potentially, I don't know what way the rules are going to work, but 26 DLC could potentially, in my mind, be better than what they try to do with the 27 rules, unless the 27 rules are massively overhauled, because they can't do much to the ERS system within the engine of the game.
Yeah.
All they can do is change the values, and they're probably going to limit that to try and keep the game fun. But what they can do is change the aero model and make these cars, snappier, more fun to drive, less weighty. So we might, unironically, through the limitations of F1 25, might actually get a really interesting 26 car, and I am hoping for that, not going to lie. My only concern is with the 26 DLC, I don't know what the price is going to be. Are they charging? What are they charging for it? Do we know?
Clue. There's not much information about it, actually. Not even released it. We just have a rough.
Seriously?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, there's.
Jesus, we normally get them in. When does it normally release? June is usually the game.
Yeah, around.
They've got less than 2 months, and we don't even have a release date or pricing. We're literally on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, well,
probably the one that got knocked off my car, but anyway.
The release date for this game was May 30th. So potentially we've got a month to go.
So we have a month and what was that? We have a month and just under. We have a month and 2 weeks if we're on schedule. Oh boy. We sound about as prepared as the Williams team. And that one hurt to say, not gonna lie. Because I love my Williams. Anyway. I just wanted to have a wee discussion about that, just in case you'd heard anything, because I've heard nothing.
Yeah, it's very
silence on my end, so.
Very low key so far, but hopefully we'll start hearing some information shortly. But yeah, that's the dream.
Anyway,
they get a good game.
Just one more wee thing I wanted to say there, because I know we're sort of wrapping up here. Despite my atrocious season, well done to Christian on the World Championship. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, to be honest. He's a lovely gentleman and well deserving of the title as well. So well done to him. And I will just hope for some luck of the Irish next season, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully see you back on track soon, Lars.
Hopefully.
Yep, always welcome. And yeah, appreciate the time joining us in the comms booth, but we will we'll wrap this one up for now. So Lars, again, thank you, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you back on track, if not on comms, possibly.
Well, if you'd have me. I don't know. I am thinking about it. Again, it depends on the number of tiers we get next season. If we're going to be down to one tier, and we're going to have the field spread that we did, let someone else who's let's not be around the bush, who's quicker than me get that seat, So if we have enough sign-ups, so or give a new boy a chance or a new girl. Could be girls out there. I don't know. You never know. Could be girls F1 racing. But I do. Part of me does miss. A big part of me misses the commentary. I did have fun.
Yeah,
with commentary.
It is good crack. Yeah.
So, But I wouldn't want to kick one of you guys out. You seem to be quite the dream team in here, you know? Ocean and boosted.
Well, I think it's the first time boosted Sun comms in a while, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. And
I'm
I
kind
mean,
of
we could
on the
rock
off,
we
aren't
could
I?
we could do straws and see who wants to be Ted Kravitz down in the
yeah,
pit lane.
yeah, Pit Lane Ted would be good.
Pit lane Ted, there you go. We could
All
do
right.
it that way. Anyway, I will leave you to it, gentlemen.
Yes, take it easy. Have a good
Alrighty.
one, and speak soon.
No, well done on the comms, and hopefully see you next season in one way or another.
Yeah, cheers, Lars.
Thank you, man.
Speak soon.
See you around, guys. See you
Bye, bye,
boosted.
bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye.
All right, boosted. All right, we've only one thing left, and it's a driver of the day. So who would you give it to for this one? I'd say Janab, although he's saying that he probably will lose P3 to that penalty bug for Tenari. Still think P7 to P4 is pretty legit for him. Kevin as well, P14 to P5, and Eagle goes P6 from P13. They would be my kind of standout drivers for this one, but what do you reckon yourself, Boosted?
I think, yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that. I mean, initially, the two that would initially spring to mind obviously would be Christian and Persegili, but of course, Christian, I imagine, has had quite a lot of driver of the days going through this season, and just kept his cool and kept going. Persegili, the recovery drive was phenomenal, but of course, he wouldn't have had to do that had he not have had his incident at the start. So it's hard to look at him for contender as well. So yeah, you have to kind of look further down the grid. So I think you're pretty spot on with the three that you've mentioned. I think it'll be for them to vote, and yeah, it's one of those three for sure.
Yep, we will put it to the vote then after the race. But only thing really to say is thanks to everybody, especially those who were contributing to chat. I Run, Tipsy Bob, been there throughout the season. Kit, Icewind as well, who's done commentary for a lot of the season. We had comments from Tino, who also raced this season, and Lepson. We've got Lars in chat as well. There you go. Thank you, mad lad. Everyone's friends in the end. But yeah, there we go. We will wrap it up. Big thanks to the Aben team for helping run the season, put everything together. Comms team was great this season, and also, yeah, you know, all the other stuff that goes on behind the scenes. FIA thumbnails by Kit, and yeah, the viewers.
So also big thanks to you as well for keeping everything together and
just
keeping
about
keeping the league going as smoothly as it does. So I mean that's no easy task either. So
yeah,
I really appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, it has been tough times in terms of league racing. I'm thinking a lot of leagues are struggling just at the minute, with it being the end of the game cycle and the game being in the state it is. But we do have hope that it will come back better than ever with this DLC, and if not, the game after that, if we can make it to it, should be a brand new game. So lots to look forward to there. But yeah, Boosted was a really good experience doing comms with you once again, and I think all that's left to say is thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe if you want more content. We will be back soon enough. Season 20 is in the bag. Christian is our champion. Ferrari are the constructors champs. But we will get to it again, as racing's what we do, and I'm already itching to get back to it. I'm gonna miss my weekly comms every week. But yeah, we will maybe bring some special events in the interim period just to sign off this game, and as we wait for the new DLC to drop. So again, thanks everyone for watching, and we will be back before you know it. All the best.